Hey everybody, Digger coming at you with a seat back and seat bottom update. Let's show you how we're doing it. Alright, so what we're doing is starting on the seat pads. Now these will actually be the pieces that get covered with foam and tweed. I cut those in 36-inch pieces. Make them a little easier to mess with. That one on the end is a little bit off from 36, but that's okay. So I'm going to do this here, then do it on the other side and everything. But and everything. How's that, Bobby? But then we can cut some kind of a design on the front of this, because I've left a good bit of, that much overhang there, so I can do some kind of designs or whatever right there if I want. So that's what I'm doing today, is getting that straightened out. Once I get that straightened out, I'm probably going to pull a lot of it out and start running wires, because I brought all that stuff up to the shop with me. So I will carry on. Something else I forgot to say on this, make sure you set yourself up with enough gap between, because you've got the foam on top of this, but you've got the thickness of tweed down this side and on this side, so you need to leave a little bit of a gap right there between each one of them. You must have the gap in order for the stuff to all fit right. Alright, so now we've got all the seat pads cut all the way through, and something else, I know I've mentioned this before, that I do is mark them. Like on this side, D1, that means driver side, first piece, with an arrow that points to the front. That way, when I take this home and I cover it and everything like that, I will know where this piece belongs. So that's D1, D2, D3, D4, and then in the back, I've got left rear with an arrow pointing towards the front. Got a right rear with an going towards the front, and then I've also got these four right here all labeled. So that is how I start laying out the seat bottoms. Like I say, I got to figure out what kind of little design, if any, I'm going to put up at the front or whatever. Whatever design I put up here on the front, I will also put on the top sides of the seat backs. That way it all blends together. And then this back here, that'll be the black Formica. Up here, I'll probably do some of my secret sauce up in there. And we'll have color changing lights up underneath the bottom of here, shining downward. We'll probably have some color changing lights up under here, shining downward. And then some kind of lights up in the ceiling also. So that's where we're at for right now. I still have to figure out how I'm going to do whatever I'm going to do up in here. So I'm kind of thinking that the stereo system and controls for all the lighting and everything might be right here, but I really don't know yet. It's kind of still up in the air. So the next thing I'll probably do is start laying out the seat backs. That's what that piece right there is being saved for. Alright, on to something else. Okay, so now we have the seat bottoms done. I mean, laid out at least, all the way around the back. So each one of these is a separate piece. That will be, I'll put the 2 or 3 inch foam or whatever on top of that and then cover that. And then bring them back in, and I can screw them back down into this. So that makes that part a little easier. And the other thing we got done is I have the seat backs up here. I'll tell you what, I think I'm going to throw a little spray paint on this so that it stands out a little different. And we'll be back with you here in a minute and show you a little bit more. Alright, so now I threw a little bit of spray paint down so you can get an idea of kind of a little wavy design I could do down here on the bottom. And on the seat backs, I just kind of fogged around them a little bit so they'll stand out, because on the video, wood on top of wood, you can't really see where the line is. Our little 45-degree pieces back there in the back. And obviously these, I'll cut some kind of design in the top of them or whatever. The bottoms, they're going to stay flat like this, but up here on the top, they'll have some type of design in them or whatever. Something, whatever I do up there, it'll match what I do down here. So I think it's actually starting to look like a little bit of a party bus. I can tell you this, I have created a mess. A lot of sawdust, but there you can kind of get an idea of what it's going to look like, which I think will look pretty good. So I think that's all for today. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to clean up, de-sweat, and get on up to something else. Catch you in a little bit. Just another little FYI. You know, I'm going to have an overhang right here so that I can do a design in this and everything. So what I've done is I placed these exactly where they're going to be, and then I went up underneath with a can of spray paint so that I know right where the line is. I know right where I can go to, because I'm going to put some color changing LED lights up under here that are going to stick out just a little bit. So you want to make sure that you stay clear of that. So probably about this far in is about as far as I can go. Something else that we haven't talked about for a little bit. We know that one cooler is going up in there somewhere. You can't see it right now because I've got it blocked, but the one cooler is going to go there. The other cooler, we're going to pick out a seat somewhere that we think is convenient, and we're going to cut a hole in the middle of it, and we're going to sink the cooler right down in there. I'll just have to figure out where I want it to go. We know we're not putting it in the back, but I'm thinking probably about right here might be about the best spot. So, and obviously we've been using this as a cutting board, but the inside of the cooler is still fine. Those have been very convenient using for cutting board.